I am a campaigner of diversity. Social justice runs through my veins. There's a one-word philosophy that could describe me. It's love. I believe we should give love rather than hate to create a true community of acceptance. I thought through reading my U.S. history textbooks and the conception of our nation and the movements that have transpired, that our nation as a whole had moved forward with this ideology. However, I was disappointed with the election of Donald J. Trump. The election of Trump made me realize that I live in a white America. Never before had I felt so self-conscious about my skin color. It seemed everywhere I looked that the stuff we had was revolved around this white America. The actors in my favorite TV show, the covers of the magazines I bought, even the clothes I bought, revolved around this whiteness in our country. And I remember feeling hurt and confused. And I felt like my actions and achievements were kept up to the standard of white America. And if I did anything outside the standard, it was chalked up to being stereotyped as me being Asian. Everything I did, it just seemed to all come down to race. It seemed my fate was inevitably inseparable from this web of racial stereotype. Moving on to one of my other strong identifiers is my gender. My womanhood has given me a stronger sense of strength throughout the years. But seeing the way Hillary Clinton was treated throughout the campaign deflated the sense of strength. Even worse was seeing Donald Trump be promoted as president, someone who grotesquely treated women throughout his campaign, whether it was his tapes calling Hillary Clinton a nasty woman. I remember this treatment of Donald Trump and the terrible precedent he sets for the treatment of women in America. Now I'm going to go on a quick tangent here, but I promise it relates. I run cross country, and as you know, we live in Texas, so with Texas weather comes Texas heat. And it's no exception because we run in July, August, and September. Now, the girls, we run in our sports bra, which is completely natural, just as the boys run out with their shirts. But something I notice as we run is sometimes as the cars pass by, some men roll down their windows to take a look at us or honk their horns at us. It's scary to think that this objectification I experience can be deemed as locker room talk by the president of our country. Now, it's even harder as a female to not be judged by my body, by who I am, to not be judged by how I look, but by my character. A few days after the election of Donald J. Trump, my guitar teacher, Susan McDonald, wanted me to play at a concert. She wanted me to play for her charity, Remember the River, which is a charity that helps people in war-torn countries and gives them the resources of art and music to help them, inspire them, and raise them up from their conditions. The current project she's working on was to bring music to Syrian refugees and teaching them classical guitar. I was brought to perform to be introduced as the charity's artist ambassador. However, I didn't want to play because I felt uninspired. I felt emotionally drained by this election. And so I remember we were in this beautiful room and I sat down in a chair next to her and told her, I can't play. She looked me in the eyes and it felt like she was looking into my heart. She didn't tell me words that would change my perspective forever. She told me, Sonya, we are in a room full of hurt, but this music can help because music is a healing power. In a world of dark, we can be a beacon of light, a beacon of hope. This was my way to pour out my emotions, my hurt, my anger, my confusion into the notes of the music. The audience might not experience the depth of my notes, but at least it could be catharsis for my soul. So I played. I played this piece called The Romanza. It's a Spanish song. It's simple, yet it does its job with the music. And I remember when I played, just pouring my heart into the music. I wasn't just going through the motions, just playing notes one by one. I felt like I performed. This was the inspiration I needed. I felt empowered. From that moment, I decided I would not back down. I would instead stand up for myself. This continued on. The strength continued. I remember on Inauguration Day, I sported my nasty woman shirt to school. Never again would I shy away. Now, empowerment is important, It's the key to fearlessly writing your own story. It's the key to not just facing adversity, but overcoming adversity. After the confidence I felt on Inauguration Day, women and people around the globe claim their own identities with pride on what you may know as the Women's March. The Women's March was the largest one-day protest in United States history. There were so many voices to be heard, from signs that said, women just want to have fun, the mental rights, to little girls holding signs that said, I can be president. Despite these different ranges of signs and voices to be heard, they all had the creativity and moxie to be paraded around with such pride and vigor and strength. I felt a deeper sense of empowerment. Now I had the passion behind my empowerment, but now I had a sense of unity. These people who were parading, they had gone through the same type of pain I had, and here they were, fighting against it, conquering it. I've never felt interconnected with the world until that moment. The day after the Women's March, my parents and I decided to take a trip to Lake Conroe, which was frankly a bad idea because the weather was terrible. The wind was blowing so hard, the trees were swaying, and quite frankly, I had used everything in my power to keep my clothes from flying away. But my parents and I said, well, we're here, we're gonna go outside. So we did. There was a little park there, and the lake was on the edge, and I decided to walk to a dock that jutted out into the lake. And as I got closer to the dock, the wind got more and more powerful, and as I reached the dock, it was like the wind was roaring. It was beckoning my body to turn around, but I didn't. I took one step forward, and continued on. And it was a beautiful transcendentalist moment, because as the lake waves were moving, I felt like I was moving with it. I just felt so interconnected with the nature. And I can't help compare it to this, a metaphor about my life in the future and in my personal empowerment. The wins in my life have transpired as an effect of the election, the conflicts, and the way the conflicts have attacked my personal identities. And the wind is powerful. It's natural for it to want me to turn around and go away and just cower. And the wind is strong. But you know what? I'm stronger. And so I take one step forward and one step forward. And it's amazing. Because as I take these steps forward, I realize how interconnected I feel, not only with the world, but with myself and with my inner strength. And that's empowerment. And so my voice will not be silenced. It'll be louder than I ever have spoken before. I will write my story, unobstructed and uncensored. Thank you.